Two questions. Biggest mistakes candidates make, the biggest mistake, and then what should a candidate, what's the most important thing for a candidate to do?
Well, the biggest mistake, there's so many of them, I don't know where to start. No. The biggest mistakes, and I think that Judge Chris really hit on it, it's not working hard. I tell people, when I meet with a client, and they want to run and they want to hire me, because if I say, look, I pulled no, I said, this will be the hardest thing you ever did in your life. And they'll say, you don't know me, you don't know what I've been through. I said, I guarantee you, it will be the hardest thing you ever did in your life. And you will have to work harder than you've ever worked in your life. And in a more thankless way. If you have some kind of movie version of what it's like, running for elective office or being in elective office, I try to disavow them of that right away. So the biggest mistake is making assumptions and being lazy, just not doing the work. You know what? If the person doesn't raise the money, I don't know how many candidates, I've sat down with them in the call room, they say, well, I really don't want to make calls. They said, you know what? We can't win if you don't raise money. And I can't raise the money for you. You've got to get on the phone and raise that money. They're not going to give money to me, they're only going to give money to you. And if you can't raise the money, we might as well all leave it now. It's not because I'm going to open. It's not the money for me. It's the money to deliver your message. It's not a good day for today. So you're behind on your numbers. You're not close to where you need to be on a budget. Well, I just hate making these calls that we're in the wrong business. I'm really sorry that we have to spend so much money on campaigns and it costs so much money. But I didn't create that. And the marketplace is not going down, it's going up. Now, I live in a state where it's damn hard. In Massachusetts, I just run a governor's race. And the most amount of money you can give to a state candidate in Massachusetts is $500. So that means that candidate had to work 10 times as hard as anybody else, 10 times as much time on the phone, 100 times as much, because there's $500 limits. You guys, it's like I always say, in Massachusetts, you can always find one millionaire somewhere who's for you, no matter who you are. And then if you do, all the person can give you is $500. And so you have a pretty good state where you can do this stuff. Now, I'm sorry, I forgot the other question. What's the biggest?
Most important thing a candidate.
What's the most important thing a candidate can do? The most important thing a candidate can do is to keep their authentic self. I think a lot of people and a lot of more amateur, I think, consultants in politics go in and they meet somebody and they kind of have a mold and they try to change them, to who they are, and they don't keep their authentic self. A person has to be true to themselves, and they also have to be true to the personality. Every candidate, you kind of do this laundry list. You have assets and you have liabilities. Like my job as a political consultant is to really kind of look at those assets, look where that person is strongest. And try to really see how can I communicate that strength? How can I, do that the best way possible? I have candidates that are great and tremendous speakers, and I want them out speaking all the time because they move people. That's the challenge. Janice, they're not good speakers, but are great door-to-door, so I send them door-to-door. And so that's try to find out, what the best assets are, what the assets and liabilities are. Try to concentrate on the assets. Try to lower down the liabilities.
I'd like to go back a little bit to the gentleman's question back there. You said that the message has to answer a question.
Right.
And one of the reasons that these 30 to 50-year-old people maybe aren't coming out is they're not getting a message that resonates against one of their questions. As a consultant from a nationwide point of view, what are some of the questions that you think 30 to 50-year-olds have that people might find a message that resonates against?
Well, I think that the key is to understand. I think that sometimes in America, we've kind of lost our way about what government's supposed to be about. And it's supposed to be representative government, and it's supposed to be about listening. It's usually not the questions. The question that you're answering is, why should you vote for me, and why should you vote for me now? Well, you should vote for me now because I'm experienced, because I know how to listen, because I've had experience working together with people and making change. It's not because I stand here on an issue. That's not why people vote for people. People don't, very, very few people, look at that message pyramid, vote for people because they agree with them on the issues. They don't, many times they don't agree on the issues. What they agree with them on is a philosophy, or they agree with them, they have a trust, they're voting with their gut. And so I think the question that's not asked is what do you need from me? How can I help? I want to be here to help. Well, why am I doing this? That's a big question that comes up for everybody. It's like, they'll say, politics is such a, horrible, bad guy says, well, you seem to be a nice enough fellow. Why do you want to do that? And you've got to be ready with that answer. Say, I want to do that because, you know, when I was young, you know, this and this happened, and, you know, I always felt like it could make a difference. And, you know, what's happening on the county board of supervisors, I don't know if you're sure about what we do.